All right, good afternoon.
How you doing? Glad to see
Good.
you.
Nice to see you, Bobby. Today's Wednesday, December the 4th, 2019, and we appreciate you being part of this interview project for GPC. And I
If I
said,
can, if I can be any help, I want to do it.
well, we love capturing some of the great memories that people have of not only Germantown Church, but also the community as well. And your ties here run deep, deep in the church and in the town. So
Well, thank you.
we are so grateful that you could do this, and we love just to invite people to start out by saying what one of their oldest memories of the church is. When can you remember coming here?
I came in and joined in December of 1949,
All right,
and the reason why I came because I was raised a Baptist. My wife was Catholic. We had a son who was born in December, I'm able to fifth, and wanted to get him christened. And Dr. Warren was kind of a community person. Everybody was crazy about him, and he was the minister. So she said, if we go down there and get them christened, she'd go. So I didn't. She's the one who made the decision. That's where we went.
how about that? So December of 1949, that's 70 years ago.
Oh, well, that's what it was.
How about that? 70 years ago this month.
Yeah, hey, when you get to be 90, you have them 70 years.
You have 7 decades in there. That's great. So that was your kind of first introduction to GPC, was having your son christened here.
Right.
And then when did you become really active with ushering, with
Well,
all
the
your
church,
duties?
the church was facing north and south in 1950-51, and built a foundation and everything, moved it over, had the first edition then. And then Mr. Love passed out peppermint candy, and I will forget that. And then I don't know when I really got started, but it wasn't long after that I did get started ushering and helping now.
You know, I had never heard that before, that there was somebody who actually preceded you in
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
out peppermint candy.
Give out peppermint candy.
And then,
Well,
and
see,
then
when I started giving out chewing gum, I didn't have to have but 5 pieces. That's all I needed. And so when I retired from ushering, I was giving up to about the 20 pieces. So a lot of the parents came back with kids when I was giving it to them, as they weren't my gum, you know.
well, I've heard that from several people who've come back for funerals recently or special worship services, and there are these adults all over the country now. When they come back to GPC, they could be 39, 49, or 60 years old, and they want to know if Bobby Lanier is still there with the gum.
Yeah, well, I got started, so as the kids grew, I got more gum.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so so you started ushering here, and
I don't know when I started exactly, you know, but I figured up when y'all recognized me and named the fellow named the foyer out there after me and everything. But I did about 62 years ushering.
62 years, and if I remember correctly, when you and I talked, that you could count on one hand the number of Sundays you missed.
Well, that's true.
You didn't miss very many.
No, I didn't. I did regular. Yeah.
That's right, for 62 years.
And then too, I had to look at the ministers for Dr. Warren, and came on down, Rufus Hickey, and then Buddy Miller, and then no, it was Don Warlaw,
That's right.
and he went to Shade Grove Presbyterian Church, and then Buddy Miller after him, and then Denton after him.
And you knew them all.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
got along with all of them.
That's right. That's good. That's good to know.
Then now we're down to Don and you. And
You
so-
got some scraggly po-faced guy in there now who's...
and so help raise money for all the ministers. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to hear a little bit about your involvement with some of the building campaigns, because I know you've been instrumental in the evolution of the church from the original chapel. You mentioned the reconfiguration in the early 50s. Tell us a little bit about some of the other changes with the
Well,
building.
back when Buddy Miller was here, Ernest Miller, when he was here, we did Warren Hall, and that was in the late 60s. We did it, and I mean, early 70s or 60s, somewhere in that area where we did it, and they added it on. Then 85 and 86, where we built the sanctuary that we have here, and after that, we added on the fellowship, the recreation center and everything. And so I've been involved with the fundraisers with all of them.
And did you ever have a hard time raising some of the money, or was it easy, or how did that always go?
Well, I tell you what, when they had a meeting and everything, and have several people sitting around, and I'd pick out all the money people. I'd pick my name first. I said, I got mine, y'all get yours.
You knew who to choose to go call on.
I knew who to choose, so I went to them. Very few ever got turned down.
Yeah.
Everybody was supportive.
It seems to me that people who have always loved GPC have been generous and have wanted to support it.
Yeah, it helped. And a lot of the money people and everything over the years I was raising money from, they passed on. I said, where are all these people going? I got to give me some new ones here.
I can imagine. Is there anything that stands out as a particularly proud or good moment for the church for you?
I won't say anything particular. Everything.
Everything.
Been great.
Yep.
Yeah. Back when I never was in the teaching part of with the kids and everything, but I did help with youth fellowship when my son was coming along.
Okay.
And I got involved with that. But most of mine has all been building and raising funds and visiting new members and getting people to church.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was specialized in.
Yeah. Well, you're gifted at that for sure.
Well, thank you.
And it really, to me, it's a gift of hospitality.
Right.
That when I came here 8 years ago, you all knew where everybody sat, and you knew where everybody was, and when you would seat someone, because you knew where everybody sat, you wouldn't seat somebody in a place where somebody else was accustomed to sitting, because you knew where visitors ought to go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Meeting the people. And a lot of people said, well, nobody spoke to me. I said, if they came in the church and came down in the middle aisle, they got spoken to. I can tell you that.
I can guarantee you, everybody got spoken to at some point.
Right.
That's right. Well, tell us a little bit about your involvement in the kind of the greater Germantown and Shelby County community. You've had several different civic positions over the years.
Well, when I moved to Germantown, I got married young. Yeah, when I moved to Germantown in 1950, and moved over there right at 2nd Street, it was just 2nd Street, it wasn't over West Street, anything then. And fire truck went off about the third night I'd been there. And man, it's right the fire engine right there. I bet I jumped 3 feet, just straight parallel up, you know.
Yeah.
And caught the fire truck. Then in 1951, they appointed me the fire chief, volunteer. And so I was a volunteer fire chief for 51 to 71. And then in the 70s, I ran for Alderman. I got appointed, but Dub Ness got to be appointed mayor after Bruce Law resigned. And I got appointed, they had one election, and so I got elected then. And served 5 years. And I've been involved with the city of Germantown with purchasing that land. Myself, I was involved with land where the city hall is, where the public works is, where the park is at Howard Road and McVeigh, and what Wayland, where the Pickard building is, that was belonged to the Whalens, and involved with that. And back in, before that, the first piece of property had was L.E. Dickey. We got Joe Shaper was the president of the Civic Club. We bought it. Then we bought that 16 acres, and we bought the Whalen property was 10 acres where the Pickard building is now. And then I was on the board when we bought the Morgan Woods, on Alderman. We bought Morgan Woods, and I was on the board when we bought Cloy's property. It was 20 acres there, and we bought 16 acres and left them the 4 acres for them to live on their lifetime. And then after that, the Johnny Lane property was between the Public Works and New Bethel Church school there. And so when he died there, the 2 nieces lived in Vegas, Las Vegas. So I negotiated and got that land for the city.
Okay.
And so I've got no commission from anybody.
Nothing. Yeah.
A city or nobody, but I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, it's fascinating to me to see what a great community Germantown is, and a lot of it is due to its parks and its recreation, and the value of the land, just how people value that green space in those parks, and you had an instrumental part
Oh, yeah.
in acquiring all that and setting that aside to be public green space.
And the last piece of property they bought was the 10 acres that they named the Lanier Farm Park
Mhm.
after. Because the man that lived there, he didn't trust anybody on the board or the mayor or the city manager, any of them. But he and I got along fine, but it took me about 2 years to really to get him to say he would sell it there. So it got a bid on it for $1.3 million. Now he got it appraised for $1.3 million. And so we had our last lunch. We used to have lunch together. And they had one down in Germantown. They closed that restaurant. And then we was eating at Frank DeSantis. It was his suite.
Oh, yeah.
And having lunch. And he got ready to leave. He said, well, you didn't say anything to me about the land. I said, I tell you what, will you take $1.5 million for it? Just left it like that. I raised 200,000.
Yeah.
Over what the bid was, what the appraisal was. And he came back with a contract and said he would, and he wanted 3 years to live there and everything. So Tom Cates was the city attorney, so I got Tom Cates real quick. I said, Tom, draw me a new contract up for him and tell him we'd give him 18 months and we'd do the $1.5 million.
Mhm.
And so we got the board to approve the $1.5 million, and then the rest of it's history.
And the rest is history,
Yeah.
and it's part of the farm park now.
And so that's really why the board named it park after me, that 10 acres there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell us about the horse show. I know that's been an instrumental part of Germantown history, and you've been in the middle of that for a long time.
Well, really, the first time I got involved was that really in 1950. We had the horse show. That's when I started with the utility company. And in May of 1950, and so they had the horse show at the football field up at school. And they borrowed petitions for the stalls from the park commission of the city of Memphis. And they had the wire, and so I was young. I was starting.
Yeah.
I'm learning, And so I helped get the wiring and everything for it to take it down. And it just grew from then on. So volunteers. So it's all been volunteer doing the horse show.
How about that?
And
But
then I have acted as manager, executive assistant, and still am now. Right now, I try to resign. They won't accept my position.
they won't let you
They
resign.
won't resign, but I still help them what I can do on the telephone, which I can do more. And my secretaries tell me I can get more done on telephone than anybody she's ever seen.
How about that?
Yeah.
I know my family loves going every year. You see so many people from around Germantown there, and it's an institution in the community every June.
Oh, it is. It really is. But you take it in that festival. I'm on the board with the festival
Yep.
now, and so that was two biggest events that we really have in the city of Germantown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where were you born?
I was born at Kiowa,
Okay.
at Bahia Road and Poplar there. And my daddy had a dairy.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was in the city of Memphis and walked the cows from there to Kiowa when he moved there. And I was born in 29 there.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved over on the Gray Station when I was young, but 6 years, 1935, bought the place where Wendike Country Club is. We used to own that. We owned 275 acres and farmed 750 acres.
Okay.
And we had about 6 sharecroppers. And I was telling somebody about sharecroppers. They said, well, what do you mean sharecroppers? They knew what they meant. I said, well, we farmed the home, the views, and the crops. And then when we got through, they had their part to share, and then we shared the crop. But that's where it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was raised on a dairy farm. I do know how to work.
I know you do. That's hard work every day.
But in the school days, I played football and basketball, and I was captain of the football team and co-captain of the basketball team. And that's where I met my wife. She was the football queen.
Is that right?
And so we got married. While I was a senior, and she was a junior. And back then, if you was married, you couldn't go to school And so she laid out of school there for a while. And then I had a buddy, my son, came along, and we lived at 7700 Poplar. That's right there, catty corner across from school. And I had a class there where I could see the building, see the home. And that's where he got him out of kindergarten. He was there. That's when my wife was going to University of Memphis to get her master's, and
Okay.
she did. And I said I had two of them that graduated the same year. But he graduated kindergarten, she graduated from school.
From masters.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
That's great. And so, was that Germantown High School you went to?
Oh yeah, I went there. I started in Germantown and finished there.
Is that right?
Yeah, sure did.
But it was in a different location then.
No.
No.
Oh yeah, no, it's the same place location.
Same location
Oh,
as,
yeah.
as it's always been.
Right there.
How
Yeah.
about that?
It was MC Williams was the name of it, not Germantown at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you played football,
Oh,
basketball?
I played football. I have to brag a little bit about last year. I was fullback and captain. I averaged over 5 yards a time every day. I carried the ball.
Is that right?
And my little brother and I, there was only two, played on the team. We never got hurt. I said, yeah, we was corn-fed. And I said, y'all drugstore boys don't know how to play. Y'all getting hurt too easy.
That's right. Not like the boys on the dairy farm.
That's right.
That's right. So then you started your career with the power company
Yes.
here in Germantown.
Well, my daddy died when I was 21, and I was going to be a dairy farmer. And so my mother died when I was 6 years old, and my daddy remarried and I got two little half sisters, and there was six of us in the family, and all of them passed away now but me, and I was second and youngest, and so it didn't work out because he left a will, and he didn't want his kids fighting over it. And when he left it, so we had to sell, so we sold. And then I worked for my in-laws a short time in the lamb business. And then this opening came up, and Dr. Posey, a druggist here, recommended me to Joe Pickering for that job in that 1950. And so I started with them. We had the office out here, and he died after about 6 years after that. And I was the youngest county agent, what they called them then back with the light company. Bill Marsh says, Bobby says the power company, but with the light company. And so I got appointed to manage it, and I managed it till we moved over here on Winchester, and I was assistant to the supervisor over there. And then I went to Brunswick, and I was head of that office over there.
Okay.
In 1978, and I campaigned with Bill Marsh, and he asked me to come down and be a county executive. Well, I'd already been offered with Memphis Like Gas Water to come downtown and work. I said, no. I said, I'm a country boy, just leave me alone. And so I'll stay out here. But when Bill Marsh invited me, I said, well, I had 25 years in, over 25, I could retire then, but really 28 years. And so I said, this is a good opportunity for me to try. So I did, and I really enjoyed it. I tell you what, I just had more experience, everything. Got an opportunity to go to Washington for an inauguration for Bush, yeah. That's really something. We left here. I have to tell a little story. We left here and went up there and had a land over in Virginia, and because I had never seen so many planes over there. And so we had the plane come back, pick us up after that night, after the parties and everything, and it was like midnight.
Oh, yeah.
So the plane picked us up and started snowing. They didn't get out the next day, that evening. And so we got back, we was on a private jet, and we stopped at Knoxville and refueled and came on in, and got home by 3 o'clock. The next morning I was at the Presbyterian Church.
Is that right?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, not many people be in Washington at the inauguration, be at church
And
next
be
morning.
be here the next morning on no sleep. That's right. That's a great story.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed that. So you were the county executive for how many county mayors for Shelby County?
3, Bill Morris for 16 years, Jim Rout almost 8 years, but I retired, quit to campaign for AC Warden, and I was county executive here for 6 years, and I retired.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And what did the duties of the county executive
Well,
comprise mostly?
Well, to try to keep all the trouble off the mayors.
Yeah.
And so Bill Marsh was a Democrat, Jim Rout was a Republican, and AC Warden was a Democrat, so I worked for both parties. Yeah.
I have a feeling you're probably the only person in Shelby County history who's worked for both parties with equal zeal and faithfulness,
I probably
because it wasn't really about party politics so
no,
much.
It wasn't about that at all. Yeah. Well, I got to go back and tell one little story about when I was with Metro Against Water. A lot of things that did, because I mean, when it snowed, we'd did groceries to the people's home. And Germany was small. You want to talk about that, everybody do. So I got this call, and this lady lived down here in Four Oaks with the in-laws. And I didn't know her. She was young, and I was too.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had a parakeet up in a tree. And she was house sitting for the parakeets for a mother-in-law. And so they was building a house down on Germantown Road. And so she was keeping the parakeets for them.
Yeah.
So I had a 24-foot ladder on that truck and went up there and put it up inside that tree. And I didn't know if it was a bird. You'll sit there, the bird just sat there. I went around and picked him up, brought him down, give it to her and everything. And I was telling somebody that story and everything. He said, and she was standing there listening to it. She said, "Yeah, you saved a marriage," because that's what mother-in-law talking to parakeets.
No. That's great.
But I had a lot of stories like that.
Yeah.
People call me about anything, street lights, window, whatever.
Yeah. And you would personally see to them and everything from parakeets to no telling what.
Did most of it.
I've heard other people around the community say that from years ago, how they would call you personally when they had a problem with the electric company.
They still call me right now. And I ain't been like that since '78.
Yeah, that's only close to 45 years ago or 50 years ago.
But when I was with the customer, after I left, I was with Bill Marsh. And a couple of times I was at the Warren Fellowship Hall one Sunday. And they called me like coming in and said, "Bobby, you need to come up and see if we can get these lights on." So I did. But in '94, I called Bill Crawford. He was the president of Metro, I guess, was then. And that's when the lights were all out all the way to Cleveland. So I told him, I said, "Bill, if you send me a truck out there, help you get these lights on." I didn't hear anything about a week. He called my wife and called her and told her, said, "Tell Bobby here, have a truck out of Johnson Road and Highway 72 in the morning." So so I got out and helped him get that, and saw some of my old friends with the utility company and everything, but we got the lights back on.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's really good. If you had to give advice to a young person just starting out in their career or in church life or anywhere, what would you say?
Well, first thing I'd tell them everything, I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "When you're talking to people, you don't know who you're talking to, because it might be kids of somebody, it might be friends of somebody.
Yeah.
So keep your mouth shut. That's the first thing you do."
That's right.
But you want to try to help everybody. I don't know, it just gets such a good feeling to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like to tell them, I like to give.
That's so generous, because we don't see that same spirit in our day all the time now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I enjoy it. I still do. And as my daughter-in-law told me, Bobby said, "Bobby, you give too much." I said, "Hey, I'm happy. Just enjoy it."
That's good. Well, you've also experienced some hard times in your life. You've lost your wife and your son.
Yeah, I lost my wife in '99. I lost my son in 2017.
Yeah.
So, but go back to my family. It was like I said, it was 6 of us, and then Daddy remarried after 7 years, and I got 2 little half sisters, and so, but all of we had a close family, big family, and enjoyed it. My older sister, she was more like a mother to me growing up when I was 6 years old, and everything. But all of us, we was all close. Did well.
Close family is one of the most important things in life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And you take Thanksgiving, that was the biggest time getting everybody together, Thanksgiving. And my grandmother lived right across from the VA cemetery over there. And we used to go over there after Mama died and had a big Thanksgiving there. And when she died, we was at Men's Funeral Home. And all his cousins and everything, we said, we need to keep this up. And so we started having a family reunion on the second Sunday in August. And but we still got it, we still have it. And there's three of us cousins left now. It's all one lives in South Carolina and one lives in Gaston, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
How about that?
But all the rest of them passed away.
Yeah. And you told me before how a lot of times on Sundays after church, y'all would have picnics at different places.
Well, for several years we had up at the Mays Lake, that's back right across the street where Morton lives now. We had a big lake there, where all the houses are.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturdays I'd go out to Herman Cox out on Highway 72 and pick up steaks. And we'd have steaks and cook them every Sunday there during the summer.
That sounds like a Sunday tradition I could enjoy a lot.
Yeah,
I know.
See the kids that go out there, and when Mr. Mays had built that and everything, he put sand out that he had out there. There's like a little beach there, you know, and the beach house there.
Wow.
And so the kids could play and we could eat.
I love it. That's great. Well, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for doing this and for sharing these stories and these ideas.
Well, I can tell you a whole lot more about Germantown.
I bet you could. I bet you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great community, and part of the greatness now is due to your service and your love for this place. So I know how many people appreciate that.
Yeah, but I appreciate it. I've enjoyed it, and people still call me, and I still try to help them. So
I know you do.
On the horse show, I don't really go down at the office where I did, but I still help them raise money and get contract with the stars and do stuff. So, yeah.
Well, I've heard lots of people say over the years that I got my first job through Bobby Lanier. He really helped me along the way.
Well, I did, and a bunch of those kids, everything, I used to work them up there and pay them $1 an hour. Walker Taylor was one of them, man.
That's the easy money. Huh?
Yeah, right.
That's right. Walker Taylor and lots of people around here owe a lot of their start to you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
That's right.
That. But I've enjoyed every bit of it. I've enjoyed all the ministers I had here. I didn't have a crossword when they up. I mean, when they had Dr. Warren was here, then Rufus Higgins followed him, and then Don Borlaug followed him, and Buddy Mellon, on down the line.
On down the line till the current guy. The jury's still out on him.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know.
Let me, I'm going to end up telling this story. We had substitute ministers there, and I mean, a lot of other ministers, a lot of people are leaving. But we've got a substitute minister, a lot of people are leaving.
Mm-hmm.
But Will, when we got you, and you came in that Sunday, you could just feel the spirit in the church. It was just great.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because it's special for me, and this is a special church,
Yeah.
and it is a spirit-filled place.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Well, you can feel it, and everybody just smiling and happy. I mean, just they're still that way.
Well, long may it continue.
That's right.
I know it. Well, thank you, Bobby.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy
All right.
that.